Good morning. I'm NC Krishna calling from Bangalore, and I'm at Brother Lakshmi's place. And we are talking about what books to commence the study of Theosophy. Normally, a lot of youngsters are given the book, the small book, at the feet of the master. This book is size wise, it's a very small book. Content wise, it's a very big book. So it looks deceptively simple, but it's not as simple as that. And if someone really masters all the contents, or at least the portion of the content which is there in the book, perhaps he would realize himself what exactly he needs to do in life. And ideally speaking, the best book for the youngsters or new people to have a clear understanding of what theosophy is, the best book would be the book written by Madame Blavatsky, HPB, The Key to Theosophy. The interesting part of this book is everything is arranged chapter wise, and it is also in the form of questions and answers. She has provided answers to various questions raised by the inquirer, and one goes through the question and answers very carefully, maybe study them, not just go through as if you're going through an ordinary light material chosen for reading. And if you do that careful study, one would pick up the rudiments of theosophy and stay with us, that those information which we have picked up or the knowledge which we have picked up will always stay. Because I remember the first time I studied this book while I was young at Adyar. Still, even now, I remember certain things which were topmost, which needed to be picked up by the new members of the Theosophical Society. For example, Theosophy was introduced by Madame Blavatsky in the 19th century, say 1875, when it came into existence, the Theosophical Society. The Theosophy also got introduced in that way. But she says in one of the answers to a question raised that Theosophy is perhaps as old as man. So she quotes from the 3rd century the person Ammonia Saccas, and she says he was an exponent of eclectical theosophy. He was an exponent of eclectical theosophy, that means practical theosophy, and which also concentrated on bringing religions of those days onto one platform, or sew all the religions with one thread. That's what Ammonia Saccas did. So she talks about Ammonia Saccas. So we know that the subject-wise theosophy is very old, but then the modern era, the modern age, came to know about theosophy thanks to Madame Blavatsky in 1875, maybe because she wrote The Isis Unveiled first in 1878, and then recording stopped. Oh, you know, call just reduces. Okay. We'll stop and then I tend to talk about pass. We'll go to that call. So, the information we have that theosophy is as old as man, and as early as the 3rd century, we have the eclectical theosophy which was presented to the world. And Madame Blavatsky is, of course, definitely the person, harbinger of theosophy, harbinger of light. And she gave theosophy as she learnt it from her gurus. So we have a lot of people who have perhaps been inspired by what she has given to us, and then they have expanded on it, perhaps wrote various articles which are related to, or various books which are related to theosophy. And so now we have a lot of material. But the basic material, I still would recommend any new young member who joins the Theosophical Society to pick up this, The Key to Theosophy. There are two versions of the Key to Theosophy. One published by the United Lodge of Theosophies, which looks yellow in color, which has more number of questions than the one which is published by the Theosophical Publishing House, edited by Madam Clara Codd. So our book has certain editions or editing which has been done. So Clara Codd has perhaps removed certain questions. But if one wants to go through the original text of Madame Blavatsky, one should buy the book, which is also available in the TPH, the yellow colored edition produced by the Theosophical Publishing Company, that is United Lodge of Theosophists, which also has the same title, The Key to Theosophy, that has more number of questions. So that's how I recommend. Of course, yes, one could also go through the books like At the Feet of the Master, Light on the Path, and The Voice of the Silence. But I guess unless the basic structure is understood, what is Theosophy? And one gets to know the details of Theosophy, what Theosophical life is all about, and what are the Theosophical principles, what are the objects for which we are living, and what is the main item or motto of the Theosophical Society. All this would go a long way in the member's life to give him a proper direction, proper way of looking at things, and understand the concept of Theosophy. Theosophy, after all, we simply say it as body of truths or divine wisdom. There's some other way of saying Theo is God, Sophie is wisdom. But we should remember Theosophy is not defined per se anywhere. Theosophy includes everything. Theosophy includes everything. But everything is not Theosophy. This is something which you should very clear, because if somebody comes to our lodge and wants to give a lecture on Ramayana per se, just nothing else other than just quoting the slokas and giving the meaning, and if someone contends that that is Theosophy, maybe one needs to take it with a pinch of salt. Actually, what is more relevant and important is that whatever we have learned through the original literature of Valmiki, we should be able to correlate it to Theosophy. For example, brotherhood, how he practiced it with his own brothers, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, and like that, and how he took care of the monkeys, the birds, and he lived with all of them and conquered the demon, because the demon had a boon saying that he would fight not against a man, because he thought man anyway he could defeat. So Rama took it upon him and took the help of monkeys, and especially aided by Hanuman. So if one could correlate it to brotherhood, Theosophy, and how the life moved from minerals to plants and plants to animals, so before that from birds to animals, I think when we correlate it and then understand Ramayana, I think it is worth. In fact, Annie Besant has written a book, Rama, Sri Rama, the Ideal King. So I guess we should be able to go through these literatures also. In fact, Bhagavata has a story of creation. So what Madame Blavatsky also has done in the Secret Doctrine, she has quoted extensively from the Bhagavad Gita, the Vishnu Purana, and so many other religious or texts we may call from the Sanatana Dharma. So this is how I guess we should proceed towards understanding of Theosophy, studying Theosophy. Reading is one thing, studying is another thing. So what Madame Blavatsky suggests is, you study for about 10 minutes, reflect on what you study for another 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and then go back to the same thing which you have studied, and then take it in, internalize it, and then move to the next question. That way, I think the understanding will be much deeper and much relevant to the life we are supposed to live. Thank you.